Us Aussies are a friendly bunch with laughter in the air. We love a good yarn and our slang is beyond compare. We call our beloved pies dog's eye with dead horse on top, and the snags are sizzling on the barbie with a pav to top it off. Now let's talk about this dinky dice slice that's really hard to beat. A vanilla slice or snot block, a true Aussie treat. Why is this recipe a winner? Well, here's the reason why. It's easy to make, it's not too sweet, and just a cracker of a slice to try. We're proud of our Aussie tucker, so let us shout with joy our national anthem, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi! You'll need 2 sheets of puff pastry. Simply place them on an ungreased, unlined tray in a hot oven of 200 degrees Celsius, fan forced, or 220 degrees Celsius, no fan, for about 10 minutes or until golden brown. If you have a fan forced oven, you can cook both trays at once. Let the pastry cool. Now this is probably the most difficult part. Find a tray with high sides and you'll likely need to trim the pastry a bit to fit. Press down to release the puffiness of the pastry a little. You might be thinking, why didn't she just prick the pastry before placing it in the oven? Well, you can totally do that, but you won't quite get those flaky layers. Both ways taste delicious though. Place a sheet of baking paper in your pan for easy removal later on. Put 1 piece of pastry on the bottom, flaky side up, and if your tray is too wide like mine, simply cut out a piece of cardboard to fit, wrap it in aluminium foil and snug it up against the pastry. Now on to the delicious custard. Measure 900 ml of milk, then pour most of this, saving about 150 ml, into a heavy based pan. Add 60 grams of butter and a half a cup of sugar. In a separate bowl, mix a half a cup of corn flour, also known as cornstarch, with 4 tablespoons of custard powder. Add the remaining milk left in the jug and whisk until there are no lumps. Pour this mixture into the pan with the milk and sugar. Stir a little, and before it goes on the stove, get prepared 1 egg whisked well with a fork and 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. Place the pot on the stove and over a medium-low heat, whisk almost constantly. First, the butter will melt, and that's a good indication that it's not too far off, and the mixture will start to thicken. Turn the heat down a little bit to low and continue whisking until the custard is thick and starts to bubble and splutter. This whole process takes less than 10 minutes. Remove the pot from the stove and while whisking constantly, first trickle in the vanilla essence and then the egg, whisking until it's all combined, thick, creamy and smooth. The egg will cook in the hot custard, and don't worry, you won't end up with scrambled egg as long as you whisk vigorously. I've let the video run just for this process so you see how I do it. Once thoroughly mixed, pour this hot custard immediately over the first sheet of pastry. Smooth out the custard a little, it will be so thick, then pop on your other piece of pastry over the top, smooth side up. You can ice this with passionfruit icing, my favourite, or vanilla icing, Mike's favourite. For the passionfruit icing, simply scoop 1 passionfruit into a bowl, add a tablespoon of melted butter and some icing sugar depending on how big your passionfruit is. You want the icing to be spreading consistency, so if it's too thick, simply add a little milk. I hope you're still here because here's a tip I received just recently from a baker's son. When making vanilla icing, if you add just a teaspoon or so of ordinary caramel topping, it gives the icing a lovely flavour and a sticky consistency like in store-bought baked goods. It's a touch sweeter though. Add some cochineal, just a drop at a time, until you get the colour you like, and that's done. Spread the icing over the top of the vanilla slice. I find dipping my spoon in some hot water makes it easier to spread the icing. Fold in the sides of the baking paper, double wrap with plastic wrap, and place it into the fridge for a minimum of 2 hours. 2 hours later, you have a beautifully set, delicious slice. You can trim the edges if you like, or like me, leave them on for a more homemade look. Using a serrated knife, cut them into pieces, whatever size you like, but typically vanilla slices are big. After it's been in the fridge, I like to leave it out for 10 minutes before I eat it so it loses some of that complete coldness. This slice will last in the fridge for up to 5 days. The pastry won't be crunchy after the first day, but that's how they're supposed to be anyhow. Mike ate 3 of these straight off the bat, and I made a gluten-free version twice in a week. I ate the first tray by myself over the course of 2 days, and all week I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I made another batch. If you're in Australia, Woolworths brand of custard powder is gluten-free, and I buy this pastry from the local IGA. The whole tray of vanilla slice costs less than $10. It tastes so good and it's really easy to make. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Hooroo!